Back to Randwick bright and early this morning for Trackwork ahead of day one of the championships, which sees a fantastic card highlighted by 4 Group 1s, the Doncaster, the Derby, the TJ and the Sires. We have all the latest from Trackwork here from the trainers and the jockeys at the hut before we head across for the barrier draw for part 2. Well, Clippo, you're no doubt raring to get back in the saddle, and you're doing so on Friday in the Muswellbrook Cup, so you've obviously come off that suspension. Tell us about that.
Yeah, going up to Muswellbrook for John O'Shea, Waihaha Falls. Obviously big dance qualifiers. They're become very competitive, the country cups nowadays, and we'll be going up to Muswellbrook Friday and try and get that horse qualified for the big dance.
And you're no doubt looking forward to then, of course, Saturday, and you're back aboard. Think about it. Pretty excited to get back aboard him, I would imagine. Most
certainly, yeah. It's his grand final run, so to speak, in the Doncaster. This preparation's been all about prepping him for the Doncaster, and that day is quickly approaching. So looking forward to that. Just hoping for a favourable draw. We haven't had any luck this preparation with barriers and just giving him that nice cosy run in behind him. Just hoping, albeit a big field like the Doncaster always is, but just hoping we can get an opportunity to just put him away, put him to sleep, and hopefully third up he'll be peaking on the day, and that'll just give him every chance to run out a strong mile, which he's going to need to with top weight.
We've talked about some people maybe have queried him at the mile, but it looks physically to me every time I see him as though now, as an older horse, this suits him down to the ground. He's even settled in his manners in the yard. He's not up on the toe as much now. No,
he has, and that just comes through maturity and racing. He's been competing on some of the biggest days we have, and that's all good seasoning for the horse. And we always were under the impression that he would run a mile and maybe even beyond. But he has won an Everest in nearly track record time as well. So, just because we thought it, that stamina may come back into his sprinting trips. But this, like I said, this prep's been all about the Doncaster, and we have to, can't change tack, stick to our plan, and we'll certainly know more after Saturday.
Absolutely, and then you're aboard Gallant Star, a knockout chance in the country champs too.
Yeah, I really like this horse. He's been giving a really good preparation by Brett Robb. He's just been spacing his runs since New Year's Day basically, and bringing him to town every few weeks, and he seems to be building to a peak performance in the country championships. He ran really well at Canamble in the qualifier, where he was beaten the nose but made up a stack of ground. He's a horse that seems to me he probably wants even a mile, but he's being kept to the sprint trips with in mind to try and get him qualified at Canamble, which he did, and then hopefully pull out a peak performance in the final. So if there's any rain around, which is forecasted, I think he's going to appreciate getting his toe on the ground or even a heavy track, and I think he's going to be one of the horses that are featuring right in the finish.
It's interesting, the weather that you spoke of. We've had an unseasonally not wet autumn so far. So we're watching this weekend, because this weekend we could really see the first where we're used to that Sydney autumn racing carnival on heavy tracks.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of horses. I mean, we went through the big wet in 2022, and I don't think we saw a good track for a number of months, and then now a lot of horses that are racing haven't seen a wet track in a number of months, and they're probably looking forward to getting on a track with some give in it. How much give is the question, whether it's a soft 6 or a heavy 10. It'll be shades of, if it does arrive, it'll be shades of last year championships day 1, where we woke up as a good 4 and by race 1 it was a heavy 10. So that's what's forecasted, but stranger things have happened, and you never know, it might just hold off till Sunday.
Anthony, before we start, there was one I was really keen to ask you about and get your thoughts. El Castello, who we saw, the son of Castelvecchio, yesterday on debut, was super.
Yeah, he's a pretty nice horse. Plainly he's going to need further. I mean, he's out of 5.5 stars family, so I mean, all that sort of says a trip for him. So yesterday there was enough speed in the race for him to make some sort of impact the last 50. but his best work, as it always has been here, is right through the line. It wasn't his first trial. He only had the one trial over 7:40, so to go to that race 1300 first up, it was a very good effort. With the expected improvement, the plan is to run in the Fernhill, and if he doesn't get in that field, there's a 1500 maiden same day at Newcastle, with a view to going to the Champagne the week after.
And then we look ahead to Saturday. Actually, we'll start on Friday even, because you've got Caesars Palace, and I believe you're going to head towards the big dance eligibility race there in the Muswellbrook Gold Cup. He's had a tick-over trial since we saw him last in the Ajax.
Yeah, Ajax sort of found him out a bit. Really hard run race. He's 3 deep and off a wide gate, and he's got a row of duck eggs in that circumstance before. Older horse, we've seen that plenty of times, and that pretty much was the expectation that day. A trial to help him sort of play a bit of catch up fitness-wise. Pretty good trial. I was really pleased with that. Work since has been excellent. So thought about the Doncaster, but it's a strong enough version, I think, this year. And Muswellbrook, with that added attraction, is pretty attractive. I think he ran third in the race there last year off a wide gate too. But anyway, he goes there. I think he's getting back to his right form, and he'll make his presence felt.
One of my favourite fillies. I love going and seeing her in the tie-up stalls. She's just got so much sass about her, and she's robust, and she always turns up and tries her hardest. Extreme diva. She's a month between, so she had a little freshen, just 10 days off.
Yeah. So after a last run, she added that back up, and then thought, like, in terms of where the races fell for her, we had time enough to go along and give her 15 days to paddock. 10 days to paddock, which we did. Came back and it was much better. Like, it was quite amazing, the turnaround in that short space. Came up in the wither, which has been one of her issues. That she's always been a bit downhill, but she's a better balanced filly now in herself. That's reflected in her work here, and she goes into that race in great shape.
And what work did she do this morning?
She worked over a half mile in company with another filly that ran fourth at her first start on the Kenzo last week, and both fillies worked very well.
Tom, first we need to talk about the tough win of Linebacker on the weekend.
Yeah, he was excellent. Probably a new environment he sort of got into for the first time, led up by a really tough horse of Gay and Adrian's, and they ran a slick time, and he should come on a lot for that sort of tough seasoning run as we work forward to the Champagne.
And he's an interesting horse. He's still got a bit of spunk about him, I guess, out the back. He's quite colty a little bit, so you just keep him away from them. He's still learning. Yeah,
he's a very kind-natured horse, but he's just a little bit excitable at the moment. But I'd say just with that racing and as he gets more professional, that should hopefully tidy up.
Well, let's look to the weekend then. We'll start with Waihaha Falls in the Muswellbrook Cup on Friday.
Yeah, a horse that's been running really well this week. Prospect of rain, 1500 second up, just looks like a nice situation for him. So ideally, if we can get a nice wet track up there, he should be most effective and give him a chance to break into the big dance.
And the girls in the PJ Bell, Captain Amelia and Count Your Blessings, are they likely to line up?
They are at the moment. The race is very strong, probably a bit stronger than we expected. So they're sort of up to that grade if things fall their way. Again, wet track probably wouldn't be an issue for them. So we'll go through the process and see how they line up on the weekend.
Good Banter, who was unlucky in the Kembla Grange Classic, goes to the Adrian Knox. How's she come through since that run?
Yeah, really well. Again, not a lot went right for her. Probably with a more economical run in transit would have been fighting out the finish. We think Steps 2000 is really going to suit her. She was strong late there. Prospect of rain won't worry her at all as well. So it looks a really nice race for her to have a crack at picking up some black type.
Has she worked this morning already?
Yeah, she worked with Cafe Millennium actually. Worked really nicely. Other horses probably a little bit sharper, but she was strong through the line. She's got a nice big action. She's just a really sort of economical filly.
Good segue then into Cafe Millennium, who we see in the Carbine Club. We last saw him in the Rosehill Guineas. What do you make of him?
He's sort of horse when one thing goes wrong, sort of everything starts to go wrong. So just the other day there at Rosehill, sort of got back on the inside, a little bit keen, and then sort of just everything sort of probably went against him. Back to a track probably more favourable for him at Randwick. We get a similar situation to the Guineas, that sort of performance he can put in. So it's just a case of getting that first part of the race right and letting everything else unfold from there.
Rosalind Starr, another really exciting 2-year-old in your, I guess, late 2-year-old ranks, you could say. He did go to the trials the other week, but he was scratched, so you ended up jumping him out, I believe John had said on radio?
Yeah, he just one lunged out next to him and he lunged forward and hit his head, and that's an automatic scratching, but there was nothing wrong with him. So we just had to plan B and jumped him out here on Thursday morning, which he was excellent. Ticked him over this morning, so we'll head into the kindergarten, off a pretty nice preparation, a strong wind. 1100 metres around here should suit well. Ground, a bit of an unknown, but gives an indication he'll probably handle it. But I guess it depends what extremes we get to. But yeah, a really nice horse, very, very fast horse.
Let's start having a look at your runners, and we'll kick things off with He-Man in the Carbine Club, who's coming out of a run in the Far Lap. How's he been since?
Yeah, look, he's been really good. He's probably really looking for that mile now, which he gets on Saturday, and he's probably a little bit of a lacklustre preparation this time in, but his run down in Melbourne over a mile was very good, and he's definitely looking for that bit further now.
And then into your 2-year-olds in the kindergarten, you've got King of Rousseau, who ran in the Pago and was 5th, running on well behind Dublin Down, and Embassy, who has been ticking along well too.
Yeah, King of Rousseau, he's had a busy preparation, and he went to the Pago and ran okay. He's probably starting to get a little bit tired coming to the end of it, and so he's had a nice little freshen up, and he goes into the race in good form. He's had a nice gallop here this morning, and Embassy had a lovely trial at Warwick Farm last week. He wasn't out to do too much because we were always going to have a few more gallops under our belt going into the race on Saturday, but quite a sharp colt, beautifully bred, and we're looking forward to seeing him go on Saturday. And him being by I Am Invincible, I suppose it's going to be a little bit weather dependent on how much rain we get, but he's going well.
He was always such a standout. I remember seeing him really early days, I think, at your first 2-year-old jump outs, and he just is a beautiful type of horse and seems like a lovely horse to have in the stable too.
Yeah, really good attitude, and that was always going to take him a long way, but it might be a blessing in disguise. He had a few little setbacks early on, and that's why we didn't see him in the early part of the season, but it seems to be a blessing in disguise. He's furnished into a beautiful type now.
We have August Bloom resuming in the PJ Bell.
Yeah, she's trialled super. What she was doing in her early years as a 2-year-old, I suppose she was just doing on raw ability. She wasn't the fully furnished product now, but she's a lovely filly for Mr. Teo, and she gets going on Saturday. 1200 might be a little bit short for her, but she's definitely bigger and stronger this time in. We expect to see her figuring.
And how could I forget about Fearless in the Sires, a last start winner at Newcastle. He looks like he's crying out for that trip now.
Yeah, look, he's coming off a super run in the Blue Diamond, and then he went to Newcastle, and I was more or less just a bit of a track gallop and get him back up to the mark after a little bit of a freshen up after the Blue Diamond, but this has always been his target, and presuming he goes well on Saturday, then we'll be pushing on to the Champagne, but really nice colt going forward. It would be great to see him get a win under the belt.
And did he work well this morning? You were happy with it?
Yeah, no, the boys were very happy. Tommy Berry will ride him on Saturday, and the tracker read very well, and we can't fault him.
Adrian, another big week for your stable, so let's just kick straight in. In the Sires, you've got Storm Boy, Prost, Lady of Camelot, and possibly a Node backing up. How's he come through that win? Second, I think.
Yeah, excellent run for a Node on the weekend. He hasn't hurt him or hasn't taken a backward step since then. So, yeah, pretty keen to back him up in that regard. He's had a nice campaign, and I feel he's been very consistent for us. So. Happy to take our chances with him on Saturday, and then the other three obviously coming out of the form line of the Golden Slipper, all ran very well. Obviously the winner in Lady of Camelot, she's come out of the race in great shape. She's appeared nice and sharp this week, and in really good shape, as is Storm Boy. I don't think he lost any admirers in his run. I think he'd be better suited stepping up to the 1400 metres and potentially getting back to Ram. It might be a more suitable track for him, but he's in great shape. And Prost was a better run than what I think it read on paper there. Just sort of got back and worked home nicely, but just sort of got himself in a bit of an awkward position, so he may be better suited by the stretch out and trip.
Let in with a Node winning because I thought he might have won on the weekend. Having to look back, we just got beaten by a pretty handy one there in linebacker. Into the Derby, you've got possibly Gun Beret and Adagio at this stage, your likely starters.
Yeah, certainly. Gun Beret, I thought he's in really good order. Worked up very nicely this morning. I thought he's just continued to show the right amount of improvement at the right stages of his preparation. This is what the campaign's been geared towards. I feel he's coming out of the right form lines. and he's in good shape. Adagio coming through, I guess, different form lines. He's been on the sort of country and provincial circuit, but he's had sort of 3 runs over 2,000 metres now. He's been consistent. While he might not be sort of bringing the same level of sort of class, he's pretty sort of fit and seasoned for this type of trip now, and I think he should excel at the staying trip. So we're likely to give him his chance.
Then we move to the PJ Bell Platinum Jubilee we see back in Sydney after a run down in Melbourne.
Yeah, things didn't quite work out for a bit of an awkward gate and just a bit of a messy race. But I guess it's also fair to say she hasn't quite recaptured her 2-year-old form yet. So want to see that improvement from her on Saturday, but potentially likely to get the conditions. Bit of rain forecast. She does enjoy a bit of sting out of the ground. Potentially going to look at putting the blinkers back on for Saturday, which I think will be a positive for her.
You've got a few nommed in the Carbine Club: Le Vampire, The Years, Gold Bullion and Piercing Arrow. Thoughts with those gallopers?
Most likely the 3 to go. Piercing Arrow we may leave behind, but Le Vampier's, I thought he's been excellent this preparation. He's been consistent through the right races. Had a few excuses, and I think we've seen the form stand up for him. Gold Bullion coming off a nice midweek run. Again, another one that's been showing the right amount of improvement at the right stages, so I'd expect him getting up to his right sort of trip now. He's fitter for that run and in good shape. And The Years, very similar, he's been quite consistent for us, been taking on the older horses at the midweeks, just found a couple better, maybe getting back to his own age group would be an advantage for him.
And then just lastly in the kindergarten, Espionage, we saw he's had a trial since we've seen him last, and it was a really impressive one at that. And Hallett, you've got nom too.
Yeah, Espionage is given a solid hit out the trials there, just sort of missing the run in the slipper. We were at that stage, we're sort of in a few minds whether we're going to go to the 1,400 metres of the sires or step back to the kindergarten. I think just sort of having missed the run made a bit more sense to come towards the kindergarten. But he looked good. He's been nice and sharp, and he's in good shape. Hallett's coming out of what was a strong midweek win. They ran a very good time there. She's liked the race, a good bit of upside with her, but she's in good order.
Michael, great win with Weinmark on the weekend. How's he come through that to back up into the Derby this weekend?
Really well. Had a morning at the beach yesterday and he was really bright, and he's sort of straight back into his feed. So all those sort of things you look for seem pretty good. So he won't be having too busy a week leading up to it, and hopefully all systems go for Saturday.
Put them away convincingly. Manal in the English sires, how's she been since the slipper?
Really well. She bounced out of that in good order. We had a bit of a think about whether we went Percy Sykes or sires, but decided the 1,400 was probably going to be more to her liking. She put in a lovely piece of work here this morning with Jason on board, so she seems in good order.
She was a real eye-catcher in the slipper as well, had she drawn a barrier. I mean, we could think of the would-haves, could-haves, but yeah.
Yeah, it was it was one of those things. I mean, that's part of racing. A bit frustrating when you sort of see them put in great runs like that and wonder whether we'd drawn a better gate, but that's in the past now, and look forward to Saturday.
Blanc de Blanc in the PJ Bell. I thought she was a really hidden run last start.
Yeah, I was wrapped with the run. I mean, she again drew a bit awkwardly, and sort of Jason got posted a bit deep and had to make a wide run, but I thought she stuck to her task really well. I think she's in great order. I guess the forecast of rain is a bit of a query. I don't think she's, to my memory, ever really been on genuine soft ground, but I don't think she could be going much better than she's going at the moment.
Good push for her. You've got Waikato Girl in the Adrian Knox. She was third last start in the Kembla Grange.
Yeah, we decided to bypass the Vinery last Saturday. Just sort of looked a bit strong, and I'm really happy with her. I think she's come on well from the Kembla run. I think the 2,000 metres here at Randwick will really suit. She's bred to get over plenty of ground out of a Galileo mare. So yeah, I think she's in good order and looking forward to it.
And thus far the form around that race out of last weekend seems to have stacked up, certainly with Tuda La Vida, and Our Gold Hope ran really well too.
Yeah, I thought the filly of the Snowdens that came out and ran really well. So yeah, it looked like that form might hold up, so hopefully it sort of translates to Saturday.
Well, you'll be certainly busy, because then in the Carbine Club you've also got Edited By and Ducasse.
Yeah, Edited By is a young horse on the way up. He's won his last two, and I was really impressed with his win at Newcastle the other day. It's a big step up, obviously going to a Group 3 on Saturday, but I think he's got sort of the right profile, heading the right way. Mile, I think he should be okay. He's won his last two at 1400, so I think the 16 should suit. And Doncaster's sort of been thereabouts in the Randwick Guineas and then again in the Roseville Guineas, but we elected to come back to the mile here. He's run well at the mile a few times here at Randwick, and just thought that maybe just a slight step back in grade might suit too, and we'll probably go with no headgear on him this time round and just run him with nothing on.
And then lastly, nice to have your brother at Trackwork this morning.
Yeah, it's a rare sighting. It's like a white rhino, isn't it? I don't think he's attended Trackwork too many times here at Randwick, but no, he's up here. Obviously, he's got a couple of horses staying with me and out here for the sale, so looked like he was enjoying himself.
I thought I was sleepwalking. I thought I was in a dream when I woke up and saw him here this morning.
Yeah, I think he was still asleep too.
Quick change from Trackwork and up to the wink stand for the barrier draw for the Doncaster and the Derby. We have all the reactions from connections post-draw. Well, we were having a chat pre-barrier draw and I said to you, what's ideal? You said anything inside 7, and then you went up there and got 5. So well done, you get to keep your job.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. It sets up nicely for him, I think.
And how's he travelled back from Melbourne?
Yeah, he obviously was a little bit disappointed down there. Expected a bit more from him, but he spent a week at home in the paddock, and we just rode out of the paddock, and he actually put on a fair bit of weight while he was in there, and he's come back into the track absolutely kicking his brains out, so he hasn't felt it too much.
And you've done your final piece of work with him a little bit earlier this week?
Yeah, Reece came out on Saturday and gave him a good hard hit out at Wyong, and he was absolutely flying, so I'm excited to see what he can do.
And obviously we'll get every chance there from barrier 5.
Yeah, he will. He's not going to have to do too much work, and he's just going to be where he needs to be. The issue will be this predicted rain.
And so how do we feel about that? I was having a chat to Mike Wood this morning, and he said that there is a lot that's meant to come, but we don't know if we can trust the bomb entirely, but we will get some rain.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I was umming and ahhing. He doesn't love a very heavy track, but it's so hit and miss, and I'm probably going to be out here with an umbrella covering the whole of Randwick for the next 3 days.
I think we might all be. We'll get out the tarpaulins and put it over the track. A spicy hot pot you've got in as well. She's a mare I wanted to ask you about, and spicy hot pot by name and nature as well. She's had the one trial. How's she in for this prep?
Yeah, no, she has come back. She's put on 40 kilos of muscle. I think she's finally matured. It's taken a long time. Last prep, unfortunately, she just kept running into very nice horses that have all been quite progressive. This start looks, a nice kick-off point for her. She also likes it wet, so it's a good starting point for her this prep.
And you've been happy with her work since that trial?
Yeah, very much so. She doesn't do anything wrong at home. She just cooks herself when she goes to the races. So hopefully she has learned to calm down.
Yeah. Is she one who enjoys having a pop over the logs or anything like that?
Yeah, she absolutely loves it. Anything to keep her mind active. She needs a job. She's a horse that needs a job. So she has a job, she's happy.
Tyler, how are you feeling, first of all, on your diet? Feeling well?
Yeah, at the moment feeling great. Probably still got 3 kilos to go, about 52, but feeling very confident about it.
Helps when you're riding lots of winners, as you were on Wednesday. I think I chatted to you 3 times. You had a treble there, so you're on fire at the moment.
Yeah, it's good to strike form in the carnival, especially. I know I had a little dry patch there, but to get back on the ball going into the big races, it definitely helps, and I've full of confidence and full of confidence in the horse as well.
Well, let's talk about the horse then, Celestial Legend. Even just chatting to the stable, I know they've got a massive opinion of him, and one of the guys who rides him work said he thinks he's just come on even since his last win.
Yeah, and I think Les said this morning even when Keren's ridden him, he just can't find the bottom of him. So exciting times. He's drawn very well. I think he's going to get a great run, and we'll look at a bit of the form during the week. But yeah, hopefully we can pull it off.
And you talk about how it's good to be in good form going into the carnival. Obviously, Lady Laguna's been such a wondrous mare for you and your career. What would it mean to win a Doncaster?
Yeah, it'd be massive. It's one of the biggest handicaps in New South Wales, let alone Australia, and I think to win that, it'd probably cement me in Sydney, and I'd love to be a top Group 1 jockey one day, and hopefully reach great heights. So this is the start of it, and hopefully I can stay light and get those good rides every year.
Welcome back. Lovely to see you in Australia again. And your horse, Obamburamai, are you happy with how he's settled in here so far?
そうですね。
The horse likes Australia. We like him as well. Maybe we can see him again after this. Now tell me, He looks as though he's come back stronger this time from when he won the Golden Eagle.
そうですね。
Between 4 and we're not using too much, so he's growing really well.
And what are your thoughts after that barrier draw?
Good guy, very happy.
Well, we'll see you at the races Saturday and hopefully winning.
じゃあ土曜日にお会いできると楽しみにしてます。
はい、頑張ります。
Well, Mike, it would be remiss of me to say that crazy weather, we're just used to it now in Sydney, so it's going to be warm on Saturday and generally throughout the week, but we do have that rain predicted. What's it looking like?
Yeah, look, obviously a fair bit of rain forecast there from Thursday through Friday. Pleasingly this morning, the forecast has changed a little bit so that it's not going to be raining through Saturday, is what they're saying at the moment. So, yeah, look, if we can be under sunshine, we'll see an improving track on Saturday.
And if someone, say, not mentioning names, aka myself, had drawn barrier 24 for someone, would it be a disadvantage to be on the outside of the track by that time of the day?
Oh, look, I think we've had these 3 weeks off, so we've been able to do a fair bit of work to the track. We've gone through and verti-drained and done everything that sort of evens compaction. So, look, I think every horse will have their chance. It's whether they get through the going, but we have to just see how much rainfall comes in the next couple of days, and that'll determine where we are.
And we've had a really light drizzle at the moment, but again, it's still particularly warm, so it's the back end of the week that we're more concerned about.
Yeah, look, this was forecast. Obviously, there was actually a bit more than this forecast, so we've dried the track right down. It really is on the borderline of that good 4, good 3 track, so a bit of rainfall now is definitely not hurting us. We'd be irrigating if we didn't have any rain forecast, so yeah, it's just all eyes on Thursday, Friday.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.